Welcome back to the channel, you guys. So in today's video, we are going to be removing some dealership decals that came on the truck and replacing them with our own. So we have the one tailgate emblem that we are going to be removing, as well as the one decal above our rear slider window that we're looking to get rid of today. Now this will be a fairly easy process to do, and most of you guys will have these tools around your house if you're looking to remove or install your own decals on your vehicle. We need a heat gun to help get rid of some of the glue and the leftover adhesive from the decals, as well as heat up our window before applying our new decals. We got some fish line to help us with that tailgate emblem. We got some razor blades here for getting the rest of the residue off and helping us remove the decals on the windows, as well as our alcohol rub or Windex, whichever you prefer to use, to clean the windows before applying our new decals, as well as our trusty tool that everyone has on hand, the microfiber cloth. So the first thing we're gonna do before removing this decal is we're gonna heat it up just a little bit, just to help kind of loosen up some of that glue and melt it a little bit. So we'll take our heat gun here and just do some light passes over the decal. And once that's all done, we'll take our razor blade here and we'll just slip it right underneath here, and we'll slowly work this graphic off. Once you get a side lifted up with your razor blade, you might get lucky enough just to kind of peel the whole thing off, which always is nice. Now, if you leave your truck out in the sun, that will do a lot. It's starting to get colder here, so I will need the assistance of a heat gun for this demonstration. So that went well. We got a little bit of residue left here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hit it with the Windex. I'm gonna hit the whole thing with the Windex here. Get it nice and wet. You can use soapy water for this too. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run my razor blade along the glass here, just to remove any sort of leftover debris and just clean it all up really nicely here. Microfiber, and I'll clean it all up. Just like that. So let's go down and work on our tailgate emblem, and then we'll get started on installing our new emblems. So for this guy right here, you obviously don't want to use any sort of blade or anything sharp, hence why we're going to be using the fish line on this guy right here. So same process, let's get this all heated up, and then we'll slide our fish tape behind it and remove all this. Now fish line can be quite sharp and be very uncomfortable to handle, so I'm going to use gloves for this part here, and then we're just going to slide it behind the emblem. I'm just going to do this and take it all off, just like that. So we're left with our residue right here. This is where it's really nice to have an eraser wheel. I don't have it. I am not a very detail savvy guy. I'm not very comfortable putting things I'm not skilled with on my paint. So we're just going to try to remove this all by hand, and we'll get it all cleaned up by hand. So I'm just going to pick with my fingers as much as I can off like this, like such, and then we'll kind of go from there and see how far we can get doing it like that. So we got most of the adhesive off. We're just left with some glue, so we're gonna clean this up. We're gonna spray it again with our Windex. We might have to get some Goo Gone. We'll see how that goes, and we'll get this all cleaned up. And that's looking pretty clean. We got most of it, if not all of it. So this part is gonna be fairly simple. The hardest thing is getting your decal center and straight and all that good stuff. Applying the decal though is very straightforward. I grabbed myself a new microfiber just because the other one would have had a little bit of glue and residue on it, so might as well just start fresh with the new one when we're cleaning this window here. And we got our squeegee for applying the decal. You can use a credit card, debit card, any of that kind of stuff, gift card, that works too. But in this video, we will go with a squeegee. So first things first, we are gonna go and dump some rubbing alcohol on our cloth here. And we're gonna give the window a good decontamination here. All right, so that should be fairly clean, and we're just gonna barely hit it with the heat gun just to give it some heat to help the glue. Nothing too crazy, just to help the glue adhere a little bit better to the window. Now there's so many different ways to prep for a decal when you're putting on a window. Small ones are obviously gonna be easy. The bigger you go, the harder it is. for this guy right here, I just want to peel a little bit back. And you can either fold this flap over like this, or you can just cut it off. I got a fairly sharp knife here, so we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut this paper off here. And then that gives us a nice start to our decal. So we can kind of slide our decal around here on the glass a little bit, and we find out where we wanna be, then we can go ahead and we can stick it. So we have the heat lines built into the window, so you can use that to sort of line your decal up as best as possible. But it is a challenge. It definitely is getting this all straight on your window. There's no doubt about that. Kind of like it right there. So we're gonna start by just tacking our corner there, get that started, and we'll work our way along the top here. If you can line it up, see this black little line here? This is one of the heat lines in the window. So I'm barely off right now. I'm maybe a 1/16 of an inch off, if that. So I lined, you know, my decal up with this, and we'll see how center I am. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift up our decal, and we're gonna grab the rest of our paper here. We're gonna start peeling it down, and then we're gonna use our squeegee, and we're gonna slowly come down on this thing as we... And you don't have to rush this. You can take your time. Make sure you're getting all the bubbles out that you can. So after you get everything applied, we'll give it one last squeegee on just to make sure everything's nicely tacked on before pulling off our transfer paper, or our transfer tape, I should say. And then we'll go ahead. And you don't need to rush this process either. Just slowly work it off. If you find that a corner is lifting up, just go back, you know, push it down. Not that I am, but you don't have to rush this part either. Just take your time, slowly work it off. I find if you go at a sharper angle like this, you come down more, it's a lot easier to peel this off, and it's less likely to pull your vinyl up. So that worked out really, really well. And when you guys are centering this logo, what dictates sort of the center is these corner points here. Because this decal is symmetrical like this in half, though your top and your bottom distance might be different, it's gonna be your corners that kind of dictate. So we have about 1 inch on each corner here from the edge of the window to the edge of the window, and down here we have about 1 inch. So that's how I know it's relatively, and then obviously lining the deck up with our heat lines, our heat trace in the windows here, it all looks relatively straight. So just to give you guys a bit of a better view, that's how it looks. Very, very happy with that and how that turned out. So let's find a place for this guy. All right, so let's try to apply this bad boy now. And this one will be a lot easier, obviously, than the one we just did. And then, like I said, you can fold it back if you want. We can fold it back just for this one here. So you can just take a little bit of your decal or your paper part, and you just fold it back like that. Then you can, oops, I didn't leave a lot of transfer tape on this part here. And then we just line it up. Everything's kind of straight here. And once that's straight, let's get the one side started here, like so. I'm actually gonna take off the rest of this paper here just to make sure I get all my letters on. Transfer tape here. So for the most part, I'm very happy with how that all turned out. Everything's straight, everything's square. So I will pull the truck out now and we'll have a look at it. that is it, you guys. Very subtle mod, but I love decals. I think they go a long way. And they just add character to your truck. So I hope this video helps you guys. I hope it helps you with the removal of decals, adding your own decals, or if you choose to buy one of our decals, you know, you can follow this and it'll help you out as well. So thank you guys so much for being here. And as always, I will see you in the next one.